Hi, my name is Marisa, and I am here to share my concussion recovery story with you. First of all, the way I got a concussion is I was actually shopping at Goodwill, and I had a seizure, pretty big one, and hit my head on the ground. And next thing I knew, I woke up in an ambulance, and I was panicked and terrified because I didn't know what was going on. And they asked me questions like who the president was, and it freaked me out because I had to think for a really long time just to come up with the answer. So then I went to the emergency room where they did some tests. They did a CT scan, and it turned out that I had a fractured skull and brain bleeding. And so I was in the ER overnight and then transferred to the ICU, where I was for about 48 hours. And for me, the hardest part about my concussion recovery has just been the ups and downs. I don't know too many people who have had very serious concussions. My dad did once, and his was far worse. He was in the ICU for close to a month. And what they really don't prepare you for is the emotional ups and downs. So for the first few days, I just tried to sleep a lot, and I was crying at random times for seemingly no reason at all. And I was told not to drive for 90 days, and it was a huge struggle. Let's see, I think the hardest part, like I said, was the emotional part. I went to my parents' house because I couldn't handle being alone anymore. I was crying just randomly and seemingly for no reason. I think I was watching George H.W. Bush's funeral and just bawling my eyes out, which is probably a normal reason to bawl one's eyes out. But I also was crying at things like I was watching Leave It to Beaver, and I was watching the Andy Griffith Show, and those things made me cry like a baby too. So when I finally returned to work, I would have these emotions swell up, and I would just have to go cry in the bathroom for a little bit. And I think the most frustrating thing for me was not being able to exercise. I usually run all the time. I climb. This is probably the longest time. That was probably the longest time I'd ever gone since I started climbing without climbing. And that was really, really a challenge for me. And the other struggle was, people who had never had a concussion just not understanding it. So I'm still going through a lot. It's been about, I guess it's been about 3 weeks now. And it's definitely helped me to have my therapy pets. I have some guinea pigs, and just holding them makes me feel better. And the hardest thing for me is just being patient with myself and my recovery. It was really hard for me for the first while. It still is a little bit challenging for me to find the words I'm looking for, or giving directions to people. I feel like I mix up my lefts and my rights a lot. So those are like the main struggles I'm going through right now. But now that I've gotten back into climbing, it's been very, very helpful. And so, yeah, I'm on the road to recovery, but the doctor said it could be, months before I'm better, feeling like myself again. So, yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And I hope this has helped anybody. I totally understand anyone who's going through what I've been through and am going through. Take care.